Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the Naxal attack that took place in Sukma, the southernmost district in Indian state of Chhattisgarh. At least 22 Jawans died and 30 others were injured in the Sukma encounter that broke out on 3rd April 2021. Many personnel were missing since the encounter and the authorities have launched a search and rescue operation for them. Around 1,500 brave personnel from CRPF's Specialized Jungle Warfare Unit Cobra, some teams of regular battalions like Bastriya battalions and Chhattisgarh Police affiliated District Reserve Guard, and others launched a search and destroy operation along Bijapur-Sukma border after receiving inputs of some Naxals present in the area. Now let's talk about what is Naxalism or what is Maoism. So Naxal or Naxalite is a member of militant political organization that claims the legacy of the Communist Party of India, that is Marxist-Leninist, which was founded in Kolkata in the year 1969. The term Naxal derives from the name of the village Naxalbari in the West Bengal, as shown in the map over here, where the Naxalite peasant revolt took place in 1967. Naxalites are considered far left communists, supportive of Maoism. Their origin can be traced to split in 1967 of Communist Party of India following the Naxalbari peasant uprising, leading to formation of Communist Party of India, that is the Marxist-Leninist. Initially, the movement had its epicenter in West Bengal. In later years, it spread to less developed areas of rural and southern eastern India, such less developed areas like Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana through the activities of underground groups like Communist Party of India, that is the Maoist. Some Naxalite groups have become legal organizations participating in parliamentary elections as well, such as the Communist Party of India, Marxist-Leninist, and Janashakti like Liberation and Communist Party of India. As of February 2019, 90 districts across 11 states are affected by left-wing extremism in India. So now let's talk about violence in West Bengal, how all it started. So around 1971, the Naxalite gained a strong presence among the radical section of student movement in Kolkata. Students left the school to join the Naxalites. For example, as shown in the picture over here, IIT student Ayub, he dropped out to join Naxalites Majumdar to entice more students into his organization. He declared that the revolutionary warfare was to take place not only in the rural area as before, but now everywhere and spontaneously. Thus, Majumdar declared an annihilation line, a dictum that Naxalites should assassinate individual class enemies such as landlords, businessmen, university teachers, police officers, politicians of the right and left, and others. Large sections of Naxal movement began to question Majumdar's leadership. So in 1971, the CPI, that is Marxist-Leninist, was split. A politician, Satyanarayan Singh, revolted against Majumdar's leadership. So in 1972, Majumdar was arrested by police and died in Alipore jail, presumably as a result of torture. They accelerated the fragmentation of movement. Various operations were also conducted against Naxalism. So one of them is the Operation Green Hunt. In July 1971, I'll not mention any name of politician over here, but few politicians took advantage of president's rule to mobilize the Indian army against the Naxalites, and they launched a colossal combined army and a police counter-insurgency operation, which is termed as the Operation Steeplechase, killing the thousands and hundreds of Naxalites and imprisoning more than 20,000 suspects and cadres, including senior leaders. So the parliamentary forces and a brigade of Para commandos also participated in Operation Steeplechase. So now the question arises why all this happened during emergency. There is a famous saying about it that once Operation Green Hunt was over, politicians were about to begin Operation Greenback, that is exploring the natural resources like minerals, metals, and bauxite sources from such areas. As we all know that the eastern coast of India, including the areas of Orissa, West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh, they are rich in minerals, bauxites, chromites, copper, gold, etc. So we will not look into all these politics in our discussion. This is another part of the story. But yes, there is a Telugu movie on the operation which is named as Operation Green Hunt. So that's the famous movie. In the similar way, Operation Prahar was also conducted against the Naxalites in 2017. So now let's talk about the way forward. What can be done against such Naxalites to tackle them? So according to the former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, the rising interest in Naxalites and Maoist movement in India is the biggest internal security threat to the country. Actually, Naxalites are giving an impression that they are going to conquer their own land and vanquish their own people. So the message that should go from us is that we are supporting the development and the needs of the people. So what can we do? The capacity of local forces and police should be enhanced by lateral induction of retired armed force personnel. We should have people who have the capability to deal with the insurgency. What else can we do is we can create a special security zones if the security of the area is threatened by insurgency, terrorism, or militant activities. So the Union government may, with the concurrence of the state government, declare such area as a special security zone, and such any notification will place before the appropriate legislature for ratification within 6 months from the date of the issue or the first sitting of the legislature, provided that the period of the notification shall not exceed 2 years unless it is ratified by the parliament with the concurrence of the state government. Also, the state government shall create an appropriate police structure and suitable command control and response system for such a zone. The state should ensure coordinated functioning of different wings of administration. It should set up each security zone suitable administrative structure which will integrate the administration and development measures with the police response. The DGP shall, with the concurrence of the state government, issue orders laying down the standards proceedings. So, if we compare the Naxalist heat region of 2007 with 2013, then we can see over here that there is a reduction in Naxal affected districts in map of 2013. And so, what can we do? We can bring states together to become a security development zone under a single command structure. Now, why is Andhra safe today? Andhra has a greyhounds. If we pressure the Naxals here, they will run elsewhere. And it's happening in West Bengal as well. Why can't the country work together? This will be being proactive, and this is what the leadership needs to do. If you look at the police from West Bengal, they hardly had roof on their heads. So we cannot wait for new recruitment from jungle warfare schools. Our policemen are not prepared for this zone at all right now. So what our government can create a comprising young retired army men from the next 10 years. Let's call it as a special security zone. Sorry, it should be zone over here, not force. And the threat emanates from Pashupati in Nepal and comes all the way to the center of India. over here, Pashupati Naval, it comes to the center of India. So we have to go in and dominate the area so completely that the Maoists don't return. We cannot just go there for an operation and come back. Our forces need to have a permanent presence over there, and government can conduct development activities in the area, run a hearts minds campaign, improve the socio-economic infrastructure, and provide education. But we should not go in like the army of occupation, like in Myanmar. So the government has taken on the Maoists by threatening to reach into their heartland and has forced them into taking preemptive action in other states. We talk and can't do. The Naxals talk and they do. So the government prematurely announced the operation against Naxals even before the security apparatus was in place. In the short term, capacities have to be reoriented. Andhra Pradesh had the lowest police population ratio, but they fought the Naxals by retraining, reorienting, and redeploying its forces. This is what the central paramilitary forces are not doing. So, what we can say over here is that there needs to be consensus among all stakeholders. There are two types of Naxals. One is Majboot Naxals and another is Majboor Naxals. And for such Majboot Naxals, we have to use Goli rather than Boli. So I hope that this discussion will help you, and if you like this video, like and subscribe and share it with your friends. Thanks for watching.